Another Haiti update. This is Fox News, and this is more sensational. But there's a lot of crazy shit that happened. He got his left face, it got shot up, and they're thinking that he might have got tortured. But that's actually consistent with what a machine gun would do to a person's face if it was shot up, because it looked like he might have been beaten beforehand. So Jovenel Moise is going to get assassinated on July 7th, 2021. And it was most likely the U.S. government that did it. It was most likely the U.S. government. The evidence is overwhelming. Now, there's some other circumstantial evidence, and perhaps it's like, why were there 3 police security checkpoints? How were the Colombians ever able to pass 3 security checkpoints? Jovenel Moise is going to call for reinforcement at 1:34 a.m. He called a police commissioner. They're shooting by the house, mobilized people. And then later on, when the security detail failed to show up, Jovenel Moise called the national police officer and said, "Where are you guys at? I need your assistance now. My life is in danger. Come quick. Come save my life." This is what Jovenel Moise, the president, is sitting there saying. The officer told the news outlet he heard the sound of an assault rifle before the phone call ended. He immediately deployed a 3-car convoy to the president's home. The police commissioner who received the initial phone call from Jovenel Moise said he made 4 phone calls over a 14-minute stretch as he made his way to the president's home. The first call he made was to Dimitri Harold, who was the head of security for the president. Harold told him he was deploying help. The commissioner said he then called a supervisor for the security team on duty at 1:38 a.m. but did not receive an answer. He called the commander of a specialized tactical unit called Counter Assault Team at 1:47 a.m. and the Haitian Police Chief Leon Charles at 1:50 a.m. Charles had already deployed a convoy to the president's home, according to the sources. The sources told the Miami Herald that Jovenel Moise was still alive at 1:45 a.m., according to phone logs. When the officer who received the call from Jovenel Moise arrived with his convoy, he said Herard was standing in the middle of the road with several palace guards. He said Herard and the guards drew their weapons, which is standard practice, but lowered them when they realized that they were officers. Herard is in charge of the first security layer leading to the president's home. The second is manned by the counter-assault team, and the third, which is closest to the president, is the presidential security unit. After encountering Herard, the officer and several others then drove up towards the president's home, but were stopped by a vehicle with several armed Haitian national police officers allegedly inside. DEA, la-di-da. So, yeah, fucking crazy. How many times does the goddamn president have to call? How many different police? And how many times does the goddamn president have to call before he gets a goddamn... Even the president of Haiti has issues of security. Even the president of Haiti can't get the goddamn police to do what he wants them to do. Jesus Christ. Imagine if you're just a regular fucking citizen. If you're just a regular fucking citizen, you think you're going to get the goddamn... That president couldn't even get the police to do what he wanted, let alone a regular citizen. "I need your assistance now," he said, according to the paper. "My life is in danger. Come quick. Come save my life." There was silence and the sound of an assault rifle, the report said. When it was over, Jovenel Moise laid sprawled on his bedroom floor. He'd been shot in the forehead, chest, and hip and stomach, and his left eye was gouged. The suspected assassins were made up of Haitians, Haitian Americans, and former Colombian soldiers. The shooting occurred at Jovenel Moise's Port-au-Prince home on July 7th. It was well orchestrated. See, the paper said, along with the McClatchy Washington Bureau, spoke to at least 3 people who received calls from the president's house on that morning. The paper said it was still a mystery how the team managed to get past several layers of security at his homes. They passed 3 checkpoints. He's calling the national police. He's calling this other police. And none of the president's security guards were hurt. When I send you to protect the president, I don't send you to live. I send you to die, to protect him. One member of the security detail told the paper. So far, police have detained more than 20 suspects they say were directly involved in the killing, including a contingent of former Colombian Special Forces soldiers. Other suspects were killed by authorities as they closed in. I want to, real quick, the evidence of how the United States government is a part of this. So Jovenel Moise still had 8 months on his 5-year presidential term, but everybody was calling him a dictator. Well, that's consistent with the CIA. You got to do a psychological campaign, right? Jovenel Moise is a piece of crap. 11 of the arrested Colombians turned themselves into the Taiwanese embassy. How'd they know how to do that? You had the Haitian Americans that were arrested, 3 of them, Joseph Vincent, James Salages, and Christian Emmanuel Sanon. So what's that about? 2 major occupations of Haiti had already happened. So there's been coup d'etats and occupations over and over again. Occupation back in 1915 and 1935. There's a current 10-year occupation of Minnesota. So the U.S. government is occupying Haiti. Can't let Haiti do whatever the fuck it wants to do. Can't let them elect their own goddamn people. Has to occupy, has to oppress, occupy, and then when the president goes off to the side, then a fucking assassination. How the fuck is a goddamn nation supposed to survive when you got the American boot on your fucking neck the entire time? The U.S. is on the side of Claude Joseph, which was a U.S. asset, not Ariel Henry. Just recently they switched over, but, you know, that's because the optics. It doesn't look fucking good at all. You went ahead, it's like JFK got shot, and it wasn't LBJ that became president, but some other motherfucker out of nowhere. Just some fucking asshole said he was the fucking president. No, it's LBJ. Nah, I'm the president. I'm just going to take over. So that's what Claude Joseph did. Ariel Henry was who Jovenel had made the prime minister, and that's, you know, the day before, he made Ariel Henry the prime minister, and then the day after gets assassinated. That seems so crystal clear to me. Jovenel Moise got assassinated because of the Ariel Henry appointment. He appointed Ariel Henry. Claude Joseph had resigned previously, and then all of a sudden comes back into power. He's calling for U.S. intervention. So it wasn't LBJ that takes power. It was just some, you know, fucking the head of the CIA or some shit. The goddamn foreign ambassador. The foreign ambassador who had resigned all of a sudden comes up and says he's the president. And then not only is Claude Joseph the president, but he wants U.S. troops to come invade Haiti. How fucking perfect. How fucking, just, you know, the FBI thinks that Claude Joseph is the mastermind behind the hit. Christian Sanon, he ran CTU from South Florida, a Venezuelan security firm. So Christian Sanon, was a part of overthrowing Venezuela. Now he's a part of overthrowing Haiti. He was ex-DEA, which is what the DEA says today. They were calling DEA. They called the DEA to say that the hit was a success. James Lodge, he was a bodyguard at the Canadian Embassy. Well, there's been coup d'etat after coup d'etat against Haiti, one in 1950, another in 1958, another in 1986. Over and over again, the United States government just won't let Haiti fucking breathe. It just won't let Haiti live. You got Derek Chauvin killing George Floyd over and over again when it comes to the U.S. government and the relationship with Haiti. 2004, 1991, 1989, over and over again, 1988, 2 coup d'etats happened in 1988, 2 coup d'etats, and then 1986, 1958, 1950, non-stop with the coup d'etats. They contacted the DEA, they said they was the DEA, they confirmed the hit. DEA does operations in Haiti. The Colombian mercenaries said that they were there to arrest Jovenel, which is what they, you know, did it to Baby Doc and Aristide 2 times. Baby Doc and Aristide were both captured alive, sent out of the country. Baby Doc went to France. Aristide was sent to Central African Republic. And then the U.S. government had trained 7 of the 26 Colombian mercenaries arrested. So the Colombian mercenaries was trained by the U.S. government. The Haitian Americans trained by the U.S. government. The U.S. had been training Colombian mercenaries since the 1950s. So how much more evidence do you fucking need? Do you need motherfucking Joe? Joe with the goddamn gun at the fucking scene? Videotape? Is that what you need? Because frankly, I think Joe could have just said, do the damn thing, and nobody would have fucking known. Just hide up in that fucking White House and just, you know, write a little note and then hand a little note to the CIA. And then tell the CIA to burn that fucking note. Write it in block lettering. Now the order to the hit is gone. Now there is no. So there you go. Jovenel begged and pleaded for the police to come get him, but I could see it being both ways. Is it internal? Is it the oligarchs? Or did the U.S. government just tell them all to stand down? I could see it both ways. And hopefully there's a trial, and hopefully it's public, and they start telling all this information publicly, and put these guys, you know, it's interesting that they've arrested them, and they put them on trial. Have them talk to the entire nation. Hey, Colombian mercenaries, why the fuck did you just kill our president? And then that way the entire people get to see what the fuck they're saying and what, you know, who's right, who's wrong. Are they innocent? Are they patsies? Or did they just find some fucking scapegoat? Or did they actually get the right people?